Welcome aboard tonight. If you're joining us on the live stream, it is tonight. It's Tuesday nights, and it's November 1st, believe it or not. If you are joining us on YouTube at a later date, thank you for finding us. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully this information will be of usefulness to you on your model railroad, your module, or your club layout, wherever your hobby may find you. But hey, let's go ahead and see who's joining us here tonight. I've got Dale. DG Model Works is in the house. Late Night Model Railroad is here. Ronald, Les, Keegan, Thomas, Delta 9, Terry LaFrance, Greg, Danny, Rojo, Ian, and Ramsey BT. They have all joined us here tonight for the first of November Train Tuesdays. We're going to be talking some modern stuff today. We're going to be talking about HO, specifically in the Genesis series. We're going to be talking about the AC4400s, and we're going to talk about our brand new car that we've just introduced this month, the NSC 6400 high-sided gondolas with loads. Now, these are brand new cars. We're going to talk about these tonight, and if you're one of the many that have been waiting for these, your wait is almost over. So glad we could bring these to you. There'll be some other new things that we'll talk about throughout the month of November, but we're going to start with those two first. So before we get started, let's go ahead and go through and see who else is joining us tonight. I've got Daylight Dave, Manuel, Ramsey, Jeff, Jason, Mark, Anthony, Panther Line Productions, Ohio, just to name a few. So I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. And let's get started with another Train Tuesday. So like I said, we're going to be starting in the Genesis area, and we're going to start that with the General Electric AC4400s. Now, this is a brand new model for us. Let's get a little background on the AC4400. Introduced by General Electric in 1993 and built until 2004, when it was finally replaced by the Evolution Series Tier 2 compliant model, the AC4400CW is a staple of modern railroading. In all, 2,834 examples were built, many still plying rails in their as-delivered configurations or rebuilt variants. Many Class 1s, regional, and foreign railroads purchased this locomotive. Ownership spanned through the North American continent, and with their long lives have seen numerous paint schemes, variations, and ownership changes throughout its years. The AC4400CW went through many changes during its production. Some of these are easily noticeable. Early units being delivered with GE's high adhesion trucks, while later units had the option for newly developed GE steerable trucks. Other details are small, and it does take a careful eye to see the addition of a doorstop, or how the door wells are reinforced, or the number and positioning of the panels and doors. Now, Athearn has captured all these details through extensive research, precision tooling, and a lot of research to reproduce the dozens of variations. Now, the newly tooled Genesis AC4400CW takes its reins as the new flagship model of Athearn. Now, if you don't believe me, go to our YouTube channel and go back a few months and look up the behind the development video that we did back in March. I had the opportunity to host a show with Tony Cook from Model Railroad News and Harry Wong from Railroad Model Craftsman, and had them talk to John, our developer, who worked extensively on this project. And it just amazes me how many details this locomotive has, and no two are the same. So for a lot of you guys that may think that modern railroad is really generic, you might want to watch this video, and you'll be surprised to find that even something as modern as the GE AC4400 actually has many, many, many different variations through its production cycle. Let's get started. Coming up first, we've got the Burlington Northern Santa Fe. Now, these were delivered in 2004. BNSF AC4400CW's 5654 through 5717 represented the continuation of a string of GE AC traction purchases that dated back to 1999. As AC traction motors are well suited to moving heavy loads at lower speeds, the units were usually found on coal trains, although they did appear on other types of service as well. Now, what's interesting is in 2015, 41 of these units including 5665, released to Metrolink in Southern California to serve as lead units while their cab cars were being repaired. This is lasting into the service for about 1 year. If you look at our social media, somebody actually posted a picture of it doing just that. So interesting little history on these locomotives. First one that we have here is 5665, the aforementioned that you can see being used with Metrolink. Now this is a 2004 as it was delivered appearance. It has the small plow, the high mount number boards. Coming up next, another BNSF locomotive. We're doing 3 BNSF in total in this run. This is 5679. It's also 2004. It's a late production unit with walkway mounted ditch lights and a set of K3 horns. 5700 is the last in the series of 3 that we're doing in this run. This is the BNSF or ATSF gull-wing style cab. It has the large roof GPS dome that was popular in 2004. Now, some of the specific features just for this set. These are all going to feature the as-delivered appearance. They're going to have the small plow, high-mount number boards, walkway-mounted ditch lights, late production units. They're going to have the K3 horns, and they're all going to have the BNSF Santa Fe style, gull-wing style cab. Don't forget, too, they're also going to have the large roof GPS dome. So for you guys that are modeling BNSF, it's kind of early BNSF. It's kind of on the edge. These are going to be the ones you're going to want to add to your fleet. Now, I had one of our neighbors and friends to the south of us tell me the pronunciation is Ferromex. So I'll have to see after I get done flipping screens if I have some of our friends south of the border that are watching if a Connecticut Yankee pronounced that correctly. So we'll say Ferromex for our fans down south. Now, these were delivered in 1998 to 2000. The Mexican railroad Ferromex ordered a total of 75 AC4400s. They specified the self-steering truck option from General Electric, as these were intended to provide a reduction in track wear as well as an increased in traction by allowing the wheels to steer independently around curves. Now, each road number has variations to the warning labels and the types and the placement based on prototype images. Now, one thing I do want to let you know, the pictures that you're seeing here are not representative to the actual finished product. These drawings show an incorrect inverter cabinet. The model will have the correct cabinet, so don't worry about that. Our crew is already on that and fixing that. So here we've got 4506, and these all 3 were delivered in 1999. Here's 4513. And I got to say, I really like this paint scheme. It's a really cool paint scheme. I only caught one of these once. In 4525. So 3 AC4400s in the Ferromex scheme, 1999 into the 2000s. Now, some of the features that they will all have is they're all going to have the as-delivered 1999 appearance. They're going to have a large plow, low mount number boards, pilot mounted ditch lights, mid-late production units, K3 horns, and the GE style self-steering trucks. Now, that's a first even for us at Athearn. I'm really looking forward to seeing how those turn out. It's going to be a really cool detail to have on these HO locomotives. So CP Rail was no stranger to these units. They ordered 438 of these AC4400s. They were the highest numbered units on the roster. Canadian Pacific had the 3rd largest group of these machines and used them in all types of service. As of 2022, most had since entered the AC44CWM program and had been rebuilt into 8100 to 8280 series. Number 9500, you see here, is decorated with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. This is artwork that you see on the sides. That's for the Musical Ride. It's an organization that supports frontline police organizations in Canada. You can actually look that up on your favorite web browser search engine and check that out. It's a neat thing that Canadian Pacific is doing. So here we have 9500, and I'll zoom in here. You can see that label. You can also see the Canadian Pacific designation of the locomotive, DRF 44. Now this was their dual flag paint scheme. Of course, this was popular in the 90s. So these are going to look as they did in 1995 on up. So throughout the 90s, 9500 here is, of course, the special RCMP artwork is on both sides of the cab. And let's see. Bring up here number 9511. And 9517. Again, these are all as they appeared in 1995. Now, the features of these locomotives are going to have the as delivered appearance. They're all going to feature a large plow, low mount number boards, not high like the previous two, walkway mounted ditch lights, early production units, Nathan K3 horns, walkway capacitor box, CP classed DR44 like I showed you earlier, and this is the dual flag scheme. The other neat, interesting feature on these is if you look at the rear, they have the single rear light. They don't have the dual. I'll zoom in there so you can see that. Now here's one that you hear me talk about the product suggestion email all the time. And this is a great reason to use that. This was overwhelmingly, once we announced the first run of AC4400s, this was probably one of the top requested paint schemes and roads. And it's the Kansas City Southern as they were delivered in their gray ghost scheme, if you will. Now, Kansas City Southern was really a long-time purchaser of EMD locomotives, but they turned to General Electric in the late 1990s, and they, in 1999, subsequently purchased 50 AC4400 units. They were factory painted in their then current gray scheme. Now, by 2006, they were renumbered to the 4575 series. Kansas City Southern then started to repaint them into their Southern Bell scheme in 2013. A lot of you guys were asking for this, so we've got 3 road numbers here for you as they appeared from 2000 to 2008. So first one up here is Kansas City Southern 2001. Here we got 2020 and 2037. So for you guys that are modeling this road in the 2000s into the early 2000s, this is exactly what you've been asking for. Now, all 3 road numbers are going to have as delivered appearance, the large plow, high mount number boards, walkway mounted ditch lights, mid-production units, 5-chime horn, and they will also have the GE style self-steering trucks, just like the prototype. Coming up next is one that probably took a lot of you by surprise. This is one that, well, it was one of those things we just had to do. We did have some requests for it, not a lot, but it's something that is so unique that we figured we'd do the QCM Railway. Now, they operate about 260 miles of track in the Canadian province of Quebec, hauling large amounts of iron ore. Known for their fleet of Alco locomotives, believe it or not, QCM turned to GE for a small batch of new AC4400s beginning in 2001. That was, of course, to replace those aging Alcos. A unique feature of these units is there's a red beacon on the back mounted on the long hood, which operates when the prime mover is off to warn against possible freezing coolant. That's a neat feature that you don't hear about. It's actually a really practical application as well. So we're offering the three road numbers for QCM. And these are as they appeared in 2002. We've got number 19, 21, and 28. Really cool paint scheme. So maybe it's not your road, but maybe you can somehow justify bringing one of these into your pre-order mix. Definitely a neat railroad. Now, like I said, these are all based on as delivered. We're going to put a date of 2002 on those. They're going to have the medium plow, low mount number boards, walkway mounted ditch lights. These are based on late production units, 5-chime horn, GE style self-steering trucks. This also has a unique ECP connection box, MCH21 couplers, operating red beacon mounted on the long hood. So that beacon that I was telling you about, well, I would think you probably wouldn't want to run that too much because that usually means there's a problem. But it's there. It's through see-through walkways. Now remember, the walkways on a lot of these Canadian units, they're see-through walkways because in real life, they're a great style because of the snow. Don't want that snow piling up on your walkways when you're performing operations. Now, of course, we had to do UP. We got a really great audience of UP folks here. And the thing about UP is it's really come down to two eras. There's the yellow sills and the red sills. And so we wanted to do a little bit of both for you guys. Now, UP's always been on the forefront of new locomotive technology. When GE announced the AC version of their popular Dash 9 locomotives, UP ordered 3, 9997 through 9999. This was all done in 1994 and it was for testing. Now, they were generally pleased with the results, so UP would come back in 1996 and order an additional 149 units, 6738, all the way through 6887. Through mergers with Southern Pacific, Chicago Northwestern, UP became one of the largest owners of the AC4400s with over 900 production units. Now, a few of these received the UP's newer flag scheme as depicted with UP 6700, which was originally UP 9997. That was UP's very first AC4400. So as you can see, we're starting out with number 6700. This is based on, it appeared in 2017. This is a former UP 9997. It's a UP flag repaint with yellow frame stripe, because again, it's 2017. That was something that took a hold after about 2006. Now it's also going to feature a Nathan K3 horn, PTC antenna array, and again, kind of neat, it was the first AC4400 on the UP. For you red sill guys, we're going to go back in time a little bit. Here we have Union Pacific 6812. This is based on its 1996 as delivered with the red frame stripe, Leslie 3-chime horn, large roof mounted GPS dome, and walkway capacitor box. Similarly, we also have 6837. Very similar because it too is based on the 1996 as delivered with the red frame stripe, Leslie 3-chime horn, large roof GPS dome, and of course the walkway capacitor box. Now, additional features that we're going to have on these that are just for the UP models, they're going to have the large plow, low mount number boards, pilot mounted ditch lights, early production units, and MCH21 couplers. So there's a lot there. Now, there's also some features that are going to go across the board on all locomotives. One of those being is these are all going to feature illuminated number boards, ground lights above the front trucks, front and rear walkway steps. That's really cool. And you're going to have etched see-through walkway steps, animated roller bearing caps. If you go with the Tsunami version, you're going to have sound. If you go ahead and go with the non-Tsunami or just the standard DC, that is going to be a DCC ready with a quick plug and play technology with the 21-pin NEM connector. Now, just in case you're wondering, the minimum radius that these giants can work on, believe it or not, 18-inch radius. So there you have it. This is our second run of the AC4400s. We're really excited about these. I know you guys are too. At this point, I'm going to see if anybody has any questions or comments on the AC4400s. So let's take a look out there and see what's on your mind. Let's see. Les says it looks classier with the red sill. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that would agree with you on that. Nick wants to know, only one road number for the modernized version. Yes, we did 3 total, 2 of which being the as delivered, 1 being the 2017 version. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit. Dustin is happy with 6800 series. You are quite welcome. Abel wants to argue and say wrong. UP, there is 3 errors: red stripe and GPS, yellow stripe and GPS, and more recent yellow stripe with PTC. Okay. Pretty much most people I talk to just kind of cut it down to those 2, but I'm sure depending on how many people you talk to, you'll come up with many more errors as well. Thank you for the red sill guys. Yes, you're welcome. Now, if you have some questions on some of the things, you'll notice that in our stream tonight is our lead developer, John Stackpole. He did all of the original development work on the AC4400s, as well as most of the research on these. So if you have any evidence that would prove that something that we don't have is quite right, send it to the Athearn product suggestion email. That goes right to John. That goes right to our lead developer, and we do listen to those emails. We'll obviously fact check them as best we can, but we definitely, especially with the Genesis items, we want to make sure that they're as accurate as possible. I'm going back just a little bit further. Austin thinks that the KCS gray paint scheme is the best. Well, there's a lot of guys that would agree with you. And then according to that email that I just recommended a few minutes ago, yeah, you are not the only one to think that. BNSF 9708. I usually see the Ferromex Givos and Aces, but not the AC4400s. Dustin's got a good suggestion. Should do a future run of these CP9500s and the prime for grime, as these things were absolutely horrid by the time they were rebuilt. I've seen pictures. All right, I'm going to look for one more question or comment. A lot of folks, looks like that you are busy. See, this is another reason why I have so much fun when I say something. They lied. It's pronounced Ferromex. Just roll the R. Well, I can't. I'm from New England. I just can't do that. Sorry. Let's just say FXE and get it over with. It's funny how different parts of the country pronounce different things differently. All right, let's go on to just checking some of the comments here. All right, let's go to our next item because we're already at 7:24. So I want to make sure you guys have plenty of time tonight to work on your layouts. Let's start talking about the NSC 6400s, all new, brand new. So a little background on these. Starting in 2006, National Steel Car Corporation began construction of these giant 6,400 cubic foot capacity gondolas. Now, these exquisite Athearn Genesis models will capture all the detail and the variations of the prototypes. Our state-of-the-art tooling replicates the 9, there's 9, believe it or not, build variations as well as the multiple top chord and end variations. Separate details include full brake rigging, grab irons, and etched crossover platforms. You're going to want to add the definitive NSC 6400 gondolas to your modern roster, because these are based on the prototype. 9 different versions. You heard all the different versions that we're going to have. These will have loads, and in future releases, we'll even have the covers that some of these have. Now, for this first run, we're kind of dipping our toes in here. Let's talk about what roads we're going to offer. Now, another thing too is we're offering each road that you see here tonight, we're offering them in 2 different singles as well as a 2-car pack. Something that we wanted to try, and we've gotten some positive feedback on it so far. So we'll probably start doing that with some other Genesis freight cars, depending on how well these do. So this first one here, is the American Iron and Metal. This is car number 14010. This is based on a car as it was in 2014. So these are modern cars. Now, a lot of guys took to Facebook, of course, as soon as we posted these and said, oh, I really want this or I really want that. And they were older cars. Well, we realized at Athearn that we were getting a lot of requests through the product suggestion email that guys really wanted these modern cars. In fact, all throughout 2021, we got a large amount of requests for this car. And so we started working on these probably a little bit just short of a year ago. And this is because of what you guys asked for. Now, the good news is we're not going to stop there. We've got some other things coming up too, but let's just keep on track and talk about these cars for now. So here you go. Cardella Waste Service of New Jersey, car number 140001, as it appeared in 2019. Again, offering these as 2 singles and 1 2-car pack. Here we have DEAX 11365. This is as it appeared in 2012. Here's one that a lot of guys will probably recognize, Murphy Road Recycling. This is car number 4300. This is probably the older one out of the group. This is based on 1994. I'm going to say probably closer to 2004, 2006, somewhere in there. That's a little bit off according to my records. And now we've got the Rezidco car. I'm sure I said that wrong. Somebody will say it in the comment section. 1729, and this is based on 2019. And then finally, this is kind of the one that we used to sneak out there and let everybody know that we were serious about doing these cars, because there had been a rumor, and then we just finally said, you know what, we're going to drop the rumor. Yeah, we're doing these cars. IWXX, this is car number 220004, and this is the newest one out of the group. This is 2022. So again, there's going to be 9 build variations, and those build range dates are from 2006 all the way to the present. So there's going to be multiple body styles. There's going to be multiple detailed end variations, multiple detailed top chords, multiple ladder variations. We're going to be using really fine lost wax brass stirrups for the most scale, width, most detail as possible. Metal grab irons, of course. Metal crossover platforms were applicable, of course. Those will be on there. All the brake piping, all of that components, those will be there because these are Genesis. And the other cool thing about these are going to feature brand new tooled Barber S2E 100 Tuctrons with the animated bearing caps. So pretty much ground up, brand new car by Athearn. So you modern guys, I'm sure you're looking forward to adding these to your fleet. And there you have it. Now watch our social media, watch our live streams. We'll probably be talking about these more because this is exciting. This is brand new for us. Now, everything that we've talked about here tonight, you have until Friday, November 25th. For you celebrating in the States, that's the day after Thanksgiving. So while your other friends and family are out doing that crazy shopping thing, just remember to contact your hobby shop and pre-order what you've seen here. You've got till then. And believe it or not, November is going to go quick with the way the months keep going faster and faster. And of course, we've got a holiday in there for us Americans. So we've got time for a few questions. I know we went a little bit over tonight, but we have so much new stuff this month that it's hard to narrow it down to just 30 minutes. Jake here says, already ordered one, Jim. Let's see. What else have we got here? Not this month. Maybe next month. Let me go back because sometimes I miss these. Cole wants to point out, says, hey, Jim, those paint schemes on the second batch, Athearn Genesis AC4400s, those are really sharp paint schemes, jobs. Keep up the good work. AC4400CW projects, just waiting for the rebuild units later. Yeah, those will probably happen. Let's see what else we've got here going back. Ronald's got some video assignments for you guys. Those cars are on a video of the WWOT trash cars from New York Goes West. There you go. Check that out after the show. Going back. Nathaniel wants to know, what's the possibility of seeing new and updated tooling for freight car trucks? Even the Genesis is way outdated, depending on the model. So your best bet is to use our Athearn product suggestion email and let us know which ones you would like to see updated. John and the other developers are really busy with not only coming out with new items, but updating some of the older ones too. And we'll talk about that, just some more updates later this month. But that would be your best bet. Do know that we are not sitting still. We are also updating some old favorites as well. Going back and looking for any comments or questions that I might not have seen. Dave, yes, I am a blankety blank Yankee, as you say, but I do love me some Southern food. Jim, when do we end scalers get these 6400 gondolas? I don't have an ETA on that. Now, we did talk earlier when we started talking about these that we would do them in end scale as well. I don't have an ETA on those, but I don't think you're going to have to wait long. So don't worry, we haven't forgotten you end scale guys. Let's see. Nothing on that. Sometimes I can just go through here and see if any comments that I can bring to the table right away. Okay, it looks like we've got everything covered, so I'll go to the new comments that have just shown up since we stopped showing. And a couple of comments. I see some suggestions for stuff. Just remember, use our product suggestion email. That's your best bet. All right. Looks like we've got everybody taken care of. Guys, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight on this live feed. Again, you've got till Friday, the 25th, to place your pre-orders on everything we've talked about tonight. There's some great stuff. And we've got more exciting things to talk about in upcoming Train Tuesdays. Until next time, everybody out there, go out there, do some modeling. Be safe, be healthy, be happy, and above all, high greens. Good night, everybody.